Hey there, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. It's start time and really glad to have you here. This is my weekly show, Giant TV. I'm Paul Hitchcock, the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. This show is all about bringing value to you as you're growing and nurturing your business. And so I always am focused on tools and strategies that can help you in some way. And I'm always doing this Tuesdays 1 p.m. California time. So, really fired up for this show. It's going to be all about, this will be a quick hit. I'm going to drill down quickly here on content and a focus on LinkedIn stories and some strategies on how to make it all work. So, with that, just looking at everyone joining here, thanks so much. So, with that, let's get started. Okay, of course, the dancing. I've got the 4 kids, so everything for the kids. Uh, so here's what inspired me to get this show going, and for you is that I was listening to a podcast recently, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, sales, marketing, branding, LinkedIn. Always wanted to keep my thumb on the pulse of what's going on, and there's this one podcast I listen to. Love the guy, love the content, and learn a lot. And it's one of my sources for keeping up on things. But I just got frustrated listening to this thing over the weekend because the issue of LinkedIn stories came up, and there just was a lack of imagination talking about LinkedIn stories. And the way this host was looking at it was through the lens of a mechanical lens, technical, and unimaginative on how to use that tool. And so I'm using LinkedIn stories with great effect. And technicals matter, but it just, when I heard that, I'm like, God, people are hiring this guy and he's poo-pooing this channel when he could be telling everybody how great it is and what they can do with it. But the imagination and creativity wasn't there. So I want to jump on and share with you what I'm doing and talk a little bit about content leading up to how to use LinkedIn stories. And so, first of all, here, technicals are important. And when it comes to technicals, people talk about times to post and tagging in your post, tagging in the summary versus tagging in comments. And that was a video that I did a while back about the difference between the two. And there is a difference, and you should know it. And so technicals like that are important. Or technicals can be about email. The best days to send email. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are good. Mondays and Fridays stink. And the times of the day to send email, those are technicals. And the types of posts that people send. You hear a lot about from these trainers and so forth. Okay, images are great to post, and text posting is great. Videos are good. Document posting is great. All these things. That's all true, but it's really the imagination and the creativity that goes into what you're posting that makes it all sing. And so just to focus and being taught on when to post, what types of content to post, it misses the point. And you see it on LinkedIn because you see a lot of content on LinkedIn that absolutely is getting no views. And that's the majority of the content. 99% of the content on LinkedIn is it's just getting no eyeballs on it. And isn't the point of content, which is your marketing and building rapport and positioning you as the expert, isn't it the point to get eyeballs on you? Of course it is. This is marketing. And so if you're constantly putting out content, nobody's looking at it. One view, no views, two views, and not even the right people are looking at it. Your prospects, what is the point of the content? And so this whole focus on, you know, these tools like LinkedIn stories and, video and the technicals and when to post and you got to have image posts. If you're not creative and you don't have that down, then you're wasting your time and your money. And so you really got to get creative. I want to talk about this for a minute because creativity, can you can learn to be creative and understand how to be creative, but it's going beyond learning technicals. For example, there's more of an art behind the creativity that goes into your content and your brand. So let's talk about content here for a minute. And when you when you're putting out content, what most people do is they share other people's content. Here's Richard Branson's top 10 list. Here's Warren Buffett. Here's Inc. magazine. Not that that content is bad, but the purpose of your content is it's your marketing. It is building you up as the expert in your field. It is building rapport with your audience. This is what your content is about. And all of us have to market, or we our businesses don't get the awareness they need. And so it's not a choice. You got to market your business, obviously, no matter if you're a solopreneur or Walt Disney, you're marketing. And so your content, rather than sharing other people's content that doesn't do anything for your brand or positioning you as the expert, you've got to create your own content. And you really have to make it value-based content. And so you've got to put yourself in the mind of your prospect. Who is your prospect? Obviously, understanding your prospect and then speaking to them with value-based content. And what are the challenges that they're dealing with? What are the opportunities that they have? And speak to those. You're the expert. And when you start thinking in those terms about your content, and forget about posting other people's content wherever it comes from, but create your own, it's game changing. And your prospects start to see you in a different light, and it helps with conversions everywhere along the way, from somebody even getting on a phone call with you, let alone buying your service or product. So it's all those things with content. And people ask me, well, where do I get content? How do I think about content? And there's never a lack of content, trending topics that your prospects care about that's out there that you can use. I mean, I've mentioned here in my shows before, Flipboard is a free RSS feed magazine. You can download that app on your phone, on your desktop, and there's great content on there that you can tailor to receive. Put in your topics, women in leadership, and all of a sudden you'll start getting fed news stories from everywhere on that topic. And then you can look at that content and repurpose and think about how you can use it for your own content. But those are trending topics that people are reading about. So just as an example, uh, and getting creative uh, with a focus on, I'll give you an example. So I, for my own content, one of the channels I use is movies. What does everybody like? Everybody likes movies. And so I'm in sales and marketing branding. Obviously, those components go into movie making. People love movies, and movies get a lot of press. And so I started a ways back crafting some of my content around hot new movies that were trending on Netflix and elsewhere, and identifying the selling, the marketing, the branding that went into those movies, and building videos and content around that. And that content really, really took off and resonated. I mean, multiple thousands of views and eyeballs on me and my stuff. So as an example, it's a theme for me, the movie theme, because it draws people in, and then they can see me and see what I do, and it just creates a lot of noise around me. So your content, has to be focused on being creative and speaking to your audience. You also have to get creative with your brand. And your personal brand in particular is the seedling that grows all of your marketing. And your brand matters a lot. And the brand really is about your messaging, who you are. What are the colors and the fonts and the styles that represent you? Is your company serious? Are you a law firm? Are you, a medical office? Or is it something more lighthearted? Uh, and so how do the pieces of the colors and the font, how do they tie into you and your messaging and what you're trying to portray? So branding is about that. Branding is about your value proposition, and getting creative with logos and so forth. So as I'm working with solopreneurs and businesses that are bigger, one of the things we talk about is create a unique brand around your video content. For example, where for one client, I have Wealth Protector TV. It's a law firm, and all the content we distribute through video is really tied to that brand with a unique logo, and people start to identify with that. And you know it you're training people to get familiar with a consistent brand, but you can also have fun with that and create new logos and tie in all the other pieces around it, the styling of that brand. So it's getting creative with your brand, having a theme, with your content and your brand is, I have a client who has heart to heart coaching and has a great logo that goes along with that. And she's telling stories through her virtual events about, inspirational stories and people overcoming challenges. And it's a great theme around her messaging and her coaching business. So think about issues like that when it comes to your content, your brand, is get creative. Okay, let's jump into LinkedIn stories. Now that you kind of have a little bit of an idea of having original content, creative, and why it matters, let's get into LinkedIn stories. So if you haven't used stories yet, fairly new, and LinkedIn has it for all of us. So you have access to it. If you go to your mobile phone and you pull up your profile there, you'll see stories at the top, little circle, and you can use stories to send out videos to your first level connection. So this is a way for you to really engage with your connections. And I want to walk through the steps here of how to make stories work and really utilize it. So number one is you've got to curate your hot prospects. And so when I'm working with folks, what we're focused on is lead generation campaigns as part of it. It's one of the five components that every business needs is lead generation, and it's selling. So you got to sell or you're going to stagnate or die. And so what that is about is niching down to your prospect. Who is your ideal prospect? Where are they geographically? Where are they hanging out? Are they on LinkedIn? Who are they? How do you get to them? And so you've got to create that lead list, and these are cold leads that don't know you, and now you're going to make them aware of who you are. So now you're going to reach out through lead generation, bring them into your funnel. Top of the funnel is awareness, and then you're generating interest, call to action, and so forth. But as you develop that lead list and you're reaching out, now you're connecting with them. On LinkedIn, they're becoming first level connections because you're reaching out. Now, they've gone from they don't know you to now they're aware of you and they're in your funnel. So they're still, you know, cold, although they've gotten a little bit warmer because they've checked you out. They're in your funnel. They haven't said go away. So now you're warming them up as you're moving through. And then as you go through the process, then you have a phone call with them, a Zoom, whatever it is, then they become, hot prospects, interested in what you're doing. And so you want to identify always who these hot prospects are as you're talking and filtering with your leads, and keep that list organized. It should always be swimming around in your head, but you could have a bigger list of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 hot prospects, depending on the scale of your activities, but you keep them organized. Certainly have them in a lead list and sales navigator, but have them in a list somewhere that you can refer to, and you're constantly manipulating that list and moving people in and out, your CRM or however you're doing it. So that's step number one, is identify your hot prospects where you can put a finger on them very quickly. Okay. Number two is you want to post a value-based video. So you want to, when it comes to content, have a video content strategy. And I've got plenty of videos on that, and live sessions I've done on video content. It is another of the 5 components that every business needs in order to grow and nurture. So you figured out the video thing, you know how to do it, and what you're doing is you're focused on your community. So when I say value-based video, you are posting a video that you created that provides value for these hot prospects. And what I say is, when you're shooting a video, think about having a conversation with your hot prospect, that you're talking to them and you're curious about them and you're helping them and you're providing solutions for them. It's all about them. It's not about you. So even though the cameras are pointed at you, this is not you telling everyone how great you are. It's really providing education and helping your audience. So that's what I mean by a value-based video. Put yourself in the shoes of your prospect. And so you're posting that video so that it, plays on LinkedIn, auto plays. So you're posting it manually. And I'm going to mention here just a couple of side notes is that, remember, you have your hot prospects, you have that list. So now when you're posting that video, you're tagging 3, 4, 5 of your hot prospects. Because remember, when you're putting content out on LinkedIn, not all of your community is seeing your content. You're lucky if 8, 9% of the people you're actually connected to see it, let alone second level connections. But uh, but this is a way, tagging in your post on LinkedIn, where you can be sure that your top prospects, the right people, are actually seeing your content, because you tag them, mention them in the summary of your post. They're going to get notified, and human nature takes over. They're going to go check it out. They've been mentioned in a post, comment. They're absolutely going to look at it. And so you want to use tagging strategically. And I just did a live episode on this earlier. Look at my profile, go to my news feed and find it. You'll see all my posts. It's in there. Tagging is really important. So you want to do that. You also want to make the video brief. So this is a brief video when you're posting it on LinkedIn, minute and a half, couple minutes, maybe even shorter, but just quick hits, providing value in a brief video. Summary. So you want to have a summary that that tells a little bit of a story, is conversational, and pulls people in through the summary, so that it catches their eye and they want to learn more. So just keep this in mind. Step number 2. So now you've have your hot prospect list, number 1. Number 2 is you're posting a value-based video. Number 3, and this is where it gets into the mechanics of how you do it, is you're going to shoot your video on your cell phone, right? So you shoot your video on your cell phone. This is for LinkedIn Stories, and in that message, you're going to hype the post you just did. So you post your main video in the news feed and you've got the summary, you've tagged, that's all set. Now you're going over to LinkedIn stories right after you're done doing that and you're shooting a video on your cell phone and you're hyping the post you just did. So you've got uh, 20 seconds on LinkedIn stories to shoot a video. That's the time allotment. And you can just sit there at your desk, wherever you are, and shoot the video on your cell phone. And you're going to say something to the effect like, hey, happy Tuesday, LinkedIn community. I just posted a killer piece of content for business coaches and it's getting some great eyeballs on it. You're going to want to check it out. Swipe up to learn more. Something like that, where you're tying it into your community, you're hyping up the post, and you're leaving that, within your LinkedIn stories video. So now you've done that. Now you want to upload that video. So remember, this is on your mobile phone. You just shot that. Now you want to upload it to InShot. InShot is a free video editing app. Download it on your phone. Check it out. My favorite. Love it. And now you upload your video you just shot to InShot, all on your mobile phone, right? So the upload takes a few seconds, literally less than a minute. And now it's uploaded into InShot, and now you're going to edit that video in InShot. And InShot's really cool. You can add music, there's some images, graphics, there's tons of features about filtering for brightness and movie quality looks, and you can put borders on it. You can just do a lot in InShot. And I sort of have a formula I follow for InShot, and you can snippet the video, but I'll shoot that video, it's less than 20 seconds, and I'll spend maybe 5 minutes editing the video in InShot. I'm used to a boom, boom, I go in. So I'm not talking about editing a video for an hour here. I'm talking about 5 minutes. Edit the video. Now you save it. Okay, it's saved on your phone. Now you go to LinkedIn on your mobile phone uh, to stories, and you go into stories, and you can either shoot a video right in stories, or you can upload a video from your phone. So if you have InShot on your phone, what you do is you go into LinkedIn stories, and there's a button there where you can click to add a video, upload a video. So you click on it, your InShot video is sitting right there. You click on it, you see the videos, it pulls up your videos on your phone, it's right there. You click on it, it uploads to LinkedIn stories in a matter of seconds. So now you have this video in there that you just edited. It's got music. You snipped off the front and the back end, so it's clean looking. The lighting looks great because you filtered it. So now you have this really cool little short video in there for LinkedIn stories. And what LinkedIn stories allows you to do is you can add links in your story. So remember, you posted that longer video targeting your hot prospects in your LinkedIn newsfeed. That's out there. So you just go grab the URL to that post. So you already have that, copy that. You're going to paste it in the LinkedIn story that you just did with this uploaded InShot video, and you're going to send it. And that will go out to your first level connections. A subset of people start to see it just organically. Here's where you can really use this tool effectively. And this is what these trainers miss that are focused on the technicals. They don't get it. Now what you do is you go back to your hot prospect list, people you want to work with that you're nurturing, and you grab your first level connection hot prospects, 3, 5, 10 of them, and you tag them with this LinkedIn story that you just sent out. And the way it works in LinkedIn stories, it's a direct message. So it's not so much a tag as a direct message. So they get a DM, and you can edit the direct message, and you send out one message like this. It takes you a few seconds. And so now you're sending out to an additional list of your hot prospects your LinkedIn story. And, you could say something like, Happy Tuesday, thought you get some value out of my story. You send it to them. Here's what happens when you do that is your LinkedIn post is directed to the right people. So your prospects who you want to see your content are seeing it on the post and in LinkedIn stories because you've DM'd them. And maybe you've chosen 10 or 15. So prospects, those people are checking out your content and they actually see it versus you're putting out content and you hope the right people see it. You automatically stand out in the eyes of your prospect from your competition. First of all, nobody's doing LinkedIn stories, not many people. And I would guess your prospects aren't doing it. So the minute you start sending them a LinkedIn story, they're going to be blown away. They're going to see you like having your A game on, being you know uh, dynamic in what you're doing and getting your messaging out, and they're going to look at it. They're going to be very intrigued. They're going to take particular notice of you, which is remember what we want to do is we want people to notice us because you're nurturing as you're getting ready to ask them to do something, get on a call, buy your product, buy your service. So you're standing out big time and you just got your A game on. And I want to isolate the fact too that when I was describing how to send out the LinkedIn story from posting the video on LinkedIn to then going and creating the LinkedIn story, editing that video, I'm talking about less than 15 minutes. You can do all that in 15 minutes. So this is not spending 2 hours to do this. So if you're blocking out time every day or 3 or 4 times a week and you just make this little task part of your process, it leads to big things and you'll see that people start to notice. So there is a payoff here in doing this, and it is a systematic way to get hot prospects to see your stuff. And so when I hear people poo poo LinkedIn stories, in my mind, they're not getting this here is that you want people to see your content. Even some of these trainers I see that are putting out content, no one's looking at their content. Very few. They get 10 people on it, random people. So they're missing the beat. So when it comes to growing, standing out, build this process into your routine. Check out stories, make sure your content's good, you got your prospect list, all the things I talked about, and you will get results. And what I've started to see when I first started testing stories is it started to pick up. Nobody saw it. It was brand new. Then a few eyeballs. And now I'm getting alerts from LinkedIn that say people are looking at your story. Go check it out. And I can go see who's looking at my story and I know who my audience is. So there you have it. There's a quick tutorial on what you can do with LinkedIn stories and why it's important. And I've got here at the bottom, ever want to talk about your business, what's working, what's not working. I love sharing, happy to tell you and show you exactly what I'm doing, building out multiple businesses, how I'm helping others. Love having the conversations. You want to text Giant Call to that phone number. You can pick a time to get with me one on one. We'll chat and we look forward to it. Thank you.